In the previous videos, we had created our interfaces and also the base class. And what that one actually meant, we used the interfaces like serviceable, trackable, and schedulable to define general behaviors for the vehicle. And then we kept all the critical data private with getters and setters, like we can see in this base class. Then actually we also created an abstract user, which is this one that we are in. And this abstract base class has common attributes and methods that are going to be implemented by others or by the rest of the vehicles. So next we're going to create the subclasses. We're going to be creating the subclasses. So the subclasses we're going to be creating are going to be implementing the inheritance. So we're going to be seeing how inheritance works with specialized user types. So the very first subclass I'm going to create in this case is going to be like we said, you come to source and then you go to new, and then we're going to be creating a class, and that class is going to be for a student, and that student just as simple as that. Then after that I will say finish. Then after saying finish, I will come here and I say public class student, but I'll add something like extends. That is going to be extending the user. And for those who are not familiar with Java, the word extends means that it's going to be like a kind of borrowing the methods and also the variables that we created inside the other base class. So this child class or the subclass will be implementing whatever is the other side. I can say I have this, but yeah, it is because we don't have a student constructor yet in this kind of class. So we're going to create a constructor since we are sort of extending from the other user base class. We shall need a constructor, so we shall create a constructor, and like we said, a constructor should be having the same name as the class name. So we shall say student, then we need to return a string of a user ID because we already had it the other side, and also we need a string of a name. Then we also need a string of an email. Now those ones were already defined the other side, and also the string of a password, they already defined the other side. And here we shall be collecting the string. Which is going to be the student ID in particular, and also another string which is going to be the course of the student. Yeah, and that is it. Oh, I forgot to put those variables here, and those variables are also going to be private for encapsulation and string student ID, and also private string for course. Yeah, then like that. So by doing that, I will have created my my constructor, but still something missing. We still have this red underline, so I'm going to tell it that we are actually implementing this from a super class. So it's going to be from super. We are going to be getting the user ID from the super class, also getting the name from the super class, and also getting the email from the super class, and actually the password. So I'll just keep it simple like that. Then we shall be getting those ones from the super class. So those ones being going from the super class is going to be a call from the parent constructor. Then we also have this dot student ID, which is actually inside our own constructor, and we are going to be assigning it to the student, to our own student ID, and also the same for the course, which is going to be for the student in particular, which we are going to assign it to our own course that we have actually created. And as I can see, I sort of have this kind of an error, which is so I'm missing an N here, which is a string, and I have this other error, which is on student, and it is saying add unimplemented methods, and then make student type abstract. We're gonna solve that in some few seconds. So next, we need to add an override, for which that override method is going to be is going to take students with specific behavior, like student specific behavior. So it's going to be an override. So we're going to say add override, then we create public void return type request transport, which is going to be taking a value of a string destination. Then in our parentheses we're going to put we shall just keep it simple and then output something public dot print line, which will align to the user, and then we're going to say student, then we add there the get name, the other name of the student, method, the student get name getter method, and then maybe we can also add the year that requests transport. Now it's going to be requests transport to then to what, maybe to actually we can say plus our destination. So this is going to be a method that is going to be outputting the final value. Once the user has provided all the information, is going to be our main output method. So this one, it overrides the request transport with a student specific behavior. Yeah, so that will be our actually I can see now the student, the error we had here is now gone, which is a very good point for us. So by doing this, we have created our subclass for the student, and we're going to do the same for we're going to be doing the same for our lecturer. Sorry, we're going to be doing the same for the rest of the subclasses. See in the next video. And so let us proceed and create other subclasses. The very first subclass we're also going to create is for the lecturer. Now the lecturer subclass, we're also going to do it in the same way we did this subclass. So we go to source, we go to new, and then you create a class, which is a class for a lecturer. And then it's going to be finish. Then it's a public class, but it extends the user. So since it extends the user, it's going to be also getting methods from the other parent class. So what we do, we shall also need to create some specific information from the lecturer. So that lecturer, we shall need some certain information which we are going to store in a private so string employee ID. We are going to create we are going to correct the employee ID from them, and also correct the department they are working for. Then after that, we create a constructor for it. So it's going to be a constructor which is going to be public lecturer, and then our constructor like we did the other time. So a lecturer is going to be bringing the other stuff that we had the other time, user ID from the parent class, and then also string name from the parent class. So all these ones are going to be from the parent class, and also the string employee ID, and also the string for the department. So those will be our stuff. And like we did the other time, we need to tell our program that these are being got from the superclass. So we are getting it from the superclass user ID, the name, the email, and also password. I'm getting these ones from, sorry, this one is name. Getting these ones from the superclass. Then we go on and we say this to the department, we assign it to the department. And also the same for this dot employee ID. We assign it to the employee ID. And that is it. So we go on and write our override statement, just like we did the other time. It's going to be override. Then it's going to be a public void, which is also going to be a request transport, which is going to be overridden by the user specific behavior, and it's also going to be taking the string destination. The destination, yeah. So we say we're going to be outputting system.out print L line. It's going to be the lecturer. Then plus the gate name for the lecturer method. Then we also add the year, then requesting transport to whatever the destination they provide. Just as simple as that. Maybe we can also add some additional lecturer specific logic, maybe for teaching purposes or something. Yeah, I can say. Also, I add another thing maybe for teaching purposes, depending on what you actually prefer. So let me just keep it like that, and that would be the lecturer subclass, or maybe some other lecturer additional specific logic. If you want, you can put it there, but for me I will not. So I'll create another subclass. The very last subclass in this is going to be the transport officer subclass. It's going to be transport officer subclass, and I'm going to finish. So this is going to be the same, so I'm just going to copy these, and I'm going to copy the constructor. I copy it, I paste it right over here, then I change this to this name, from the lecturer to this. Then I'm going to extend user. Then we're going to create some specific data types here, so that we shall be collecting from that. A specific officer is going to be a private string, which is going to be officer ID, and also private string, which is going to be the shift. So that here we shall not be collecting the employee ID. No, we shall be collecting the officer ID, and also collecting the string, which is going to be the shift. So with that, I'll still come here, this dot department. I'm going to be this dot officer ID, and I assign it to the officer ID. And also here, this dot shift, assign it to the shift. The shift. And as simple as that. Then for the override method, for the request transport, it's also going to be taking in the string destination. Only that here we shall be changing it from the lecturer and putting their transport officer. Then dot get name, requesting transport, requesting transport to destination. Then for here we can change from teaching to official purposes. Let us change it to duties. Shall change it to duties. So those will be our subclasses, 3 of them, that will be extending from the base class, whereby they'll be getting specific information from the other class and also using those stuff there. So this is what we call inheritance. See you in the next video, whereby we shall be talking about the rest of the classes that we shall be implementing there, like the vehicle class and also some other classes. Thank you.